Temple family, to a special Cross Caribbean countdown. As you know, we count down the top 10 videos from across the region. But today, it's something very special. We are talking about financial literacy, in particular credit. And I get of course, the honor to introduce to you Ashton Henry, who is about to be our special financial advisor, and he is the CEO of Ashton Henry Financials. How are you, and welcome to Temple.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, you are about to be our credit expert, our financial advisor, telling, of course, all our viewers all about how to keep that good credit, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, thank you for having me. My name is Ashton Henry. I'm originally from Grenada. And
Spice Island.
Spice Island in the house. And I came here in 2004 on a soccer scholarship. I graduated college, and, going into the workforce, I realized the importance of having a good credit score. My introduction to credit came in college. Wells Fargo showed up. I got a credit card and a T-shirt, and I actually spent most of that money on a soccer cleat and going out that night. And that ruined my credit because, again, I had no idea what credit was. So once I started working and seeing the importance of credit, I dug in a little bit more into the importance of building up my credit history. And as a result of helping so many people all across the United States, Ashton Henry Financial was born to help people who are in similar situations like I was, to be able to utilize their credit the right way and build credit history and just have a better understanding and education about credit itself.
Wow. Well, listen, I know that sounds like a mouthful, right? But credit is so important. So, it is the Cross Caribbean countdown. So we're going to check out the next video, right? Have a good time. And when we come back, more vibes, credit style. Welcome back, guys. Of course, this is a very special edition of the Cross Caribbean Countdown, and I am here with the newest addition to the Temples family. Yes, of course, our own financial advisor, here to advise you about how to get good credit and how to keep your money up right here in the land of dreams, America. Mr. Ashton Henry.
Hey.
Now, before we were talking a little bit about your journey to bad credit, and then, of course, your journey to building your now financial empire, right? Which is Ashton Henry Financials. Talk to me a little bit about some of your clientele and how you've become so popular helping all these people.
Well, it all started, I actually have a tax business as well.
Okay.
So some of my clients, they're always asking about someone that can help them with their credit. So we started helping them improve their credit score, which actually at the time I had about 300 clients, and those clients getting such quick results, they actually told their friends and their family.
Wow.
Which actually helped me build my tax
business.
Right. So it actually helped me build my tax business simultaneously while helping people with their credit score. Been featured on a couple publications, Huffington Post.
Just a couple publications, Huffington Post. I mean,
right.
The Huffington Post, Mr.
Post.
Huffington Post.
Right. I've been on the Word Network, which is the largest Christian network in the U.S.
We love the Lord.
Of course, right? If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
You better preach, okay?
So,
because the season of Lent is also the season of tax.
Yes. Yes. Also, I was recently featured on Steve Harvey.
Mr. Steve Harvey,
Mr. Steve Harvey.
Yes.
NBC. So it's been a blessing, to be able to get recognized and to help people, but we've been able to help thousands of people,
Wow.
get negative items off their credit report.
Yes.
There's so much misconception when it deals with credit, and just want to clear that up and be able to make people understand that they can actually have a good name and get their good name back, even if they've gone through different financial hardships or mistakes that they have made in the past with their credit.
Well, listen, we want to get into all of that, and we're going to go segment by segment, step by step, because by the time we're done, Temple wants you to have amazing credit. We want you to have that car. We want that debt to be paid down, and we want you to prosper right here in the land of milk and honey, all right? So, now listen, as we jump into the Cross Caribbean countdown, somebody tell me that you was Grenadian.
I am, actually. I am.
Spice land.
Spice.
Kind of land, right? Now, I have tasted some of Grenadia's rum, and it is definitely some of the best, as well as the chocolate.
Right.
The boss man here himself is a chocolate man, and he loves it. But talk to me a little bit about some of the artists, and don't say Mr. Killer.
Well, Mr. Killer is our cultural ambassador, Tal Pri, Inspector,
Olo
Ajamo,
Manalo.
right?
All over alone, we taking home. Not me though, I young. Cross Caribbean Countdown family, is your girl JLova, and of course our financial advisor right here, Mr. Ashton Henry. And we are going to check out the next video on the Cross Caribbean Countdown. And when we come back, more vibes, credit style. Welcome back, Cross Caribbean Countdown family. It is your girl JLova, and of course with our financial advisor here, Mr. Ashton Henry, and we are talking about financial literacy, and of course mostly important is that credit, right? Now, listen, we all come here from the Caribbean, right? We come in hopes of having a better life, right? And we want to have the American dream. That American dream is a house, land, car, right? We want to have different things, but then we get stopped by the door. Wait a minute. You need credit. So what is credit?
Well, again, it's so important. Credit is the ability to obtain goods and services without making the full payment upfront.
Okay, that sounds like macroeconomics, right? So to the average person is literally, so I want something now, but I'll go pay for it later.
Right, over the process of time.
Got it.
And is also based on your history. How well have you been paying your bills?
But I don't have no history. I now come
Great.
from Trinidad.
Right. So if you don't have any established credit right now, we can actually teach you how to build your credit history and to be able to get access to larger lines of credit as time go on. But you have to start somewhere. I started somewhere. I started with a $300 credit card. I started reporting my renting history on my credit report. And those are things that people don't know. So, not to cut you, coming from the islands, our parents will tell us things like, buy everything cash, right? And we can't buy everything cash.
That's true.
So very successful people aren't using their money. They're leveraging someone else's money, the bank's money, to build their wealth and also to get access to things that they actually want and need in life to, again, live their life the best way possible.
So credit is basically using other people's money to get what you want and then paying them on monthly installments.
Monthly installments, and of course you want a high credit score because that will determine how much you're paying back in interest.
Got it. So let's come back for a minute, right? Because one of the first things you mentioned was about getting a credit card, right? So how do I go about getting a credit card? Is it a secured credit card? Is it unsecured? And then what's the difference? Well,
an unsecured credit card is to help you build credit history. So you can actually put down some of your own money. You can start as little as $300 towards that card. But what's very important is that you always keep those credit cards on the 30% of the utilization. So if you have a $300 credit card, then 30% of that would be $90.
Right.
You never go over that. Anytime you go over that 30%, your credit score is going to drop.
Got it. So having a credit card is a way to, I would say, manipulate your credit and to build and grow and show that you can make payments on time.
Absolutely.
So now, what would be considered an excellent credit score?
Well, an excellent credit score, would be an 800 and above credit score, at least a 750.
Wow.
You'll be in great shape with a 750 credit score.
And what's really bad credit?
I mean, anything in the low 600s and below.
Listen. Okay. Whew. We got to take a break. Now we're going to check out the next video on the Cross Caribbean Countdown. When we come back, we're going to figure out how to get that credit, right? From our 500 all the way up to that 850. Cause when I dead, put good credit on my tombstone. Now listen, my vocals mightn't be in tune with that, but when it comes to credit, I definitely want to understand the importance of good credit.
Absolutely, having good credit is so important. Having a good financial name, right? Your ability to get access to a car. 75% of employees actually even running your credit before an interview. So you want to make sure that you maintain good credit, so you want that job so you can pay your bills, but you're being denied access to get that job because of a poor credit score. While your credit score has no correlation whatsoever in determining if you're a good employee or not, it's still being used against you. Right? So it's not just about being able to get a credit card. But not only that, water bill, light bill. Right? Your kids going to college.
So all of these things depend on having
It's important to have good credit.
Wow. I mean, like, I'm literally now thinking about it, because a lot of people who come from the Caribbean and come to the U.S., of course, want all these things. So the importance of course, having good credit sounds like such a insurmountable.
It's vitally important. You know, your zip code, of course, where your kids go to school, because your kids have to go within a certain zip code of where you live, right? So the best access to the best education, your credit score.
Wow.
Your car insurance premium, your credit score, your insurance premiums, your credit score.
So everything really depends on the credit.
Credit is a vital, important component of your financial makeup.
Okay, so I know now earlier we were talking about ways in which you were able to build your credit score. Mm-hmm. Now, what else can you do to build your credit score besides getting a credit card?
You can also get installment loans. Well, there's two types of credit. You have installment credit and you have revolving credit.
Okay.
Revolving credit would be your credit cards, and you want to stay with the 4 major credit cards: Visa, Master, Discover, and American Express.
Okay.
You want to stay away from Macy's because you can only use that card in Macy's. You can't use it anywhere else.
Right.
And the minute you make one late payment, your credit score is going to drop. Right. Okay. So that's one. Installment loans. Installment loan would be a debt that you have a fixed payment to pay it off.
What would that be?
Car note, mortgage, right? A small installment loan. Like you can get a computer from companies that actually selling computers or different electronic products. You can actually get an installment loan from them to help you build your credit.
Right. So maybe something like you get like $1,000 and you have to pay it off in like 6 months.
Right.
Okay. So now all these things can actually help you build your credit?
Absolutely. Even your light bill goes on your credit. Your cell phone bill goes on your credit. One late payment could hurt your credit.
Wow. So it's important to be on time.
Always want to pay your bills on time.
With all your payments.
Always want to pay your bills on time.
Wow. Okay, so now listen, of course, you know, we got to pay some bills. So we got to go to a commercial. And when we come back, it's more vibes with the man right here, Ashton Henry, talking to us about credit. Welcome to Tampa Family. It's your girl JLova, and I'm here sitting with our financial expert, Mr. Ashton Henry, and we are talking about credit. Credit is important. So, in the last segment, we were talking about late payments affecting your credit. Now, when I go to Trinidad, or I traveling, or I having a good time, I'm not thinking about my credit card payments until I come back. So one late payment can really drop my credit?
Absolutely. 35% of your credit score is actually determined by your payment history.
Wow.
So one late payment, I've seen clients 50 to 100 points with just one late payment.
Wow. I mean, okay, so now this is something that we really need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. And not only that, that late payment could actually stop you from getting access to new lines of credit. Because credit card companies want to see that you maintain good payment over time.
So they would report to each other.
So the bureaus, let's say for instance you apply for a card, when the bureaus pull your credit history, the credit card company will actually see your history and they will see that you had late payments.
Oh my gosh, they reported on you. They're like a loudmouth Caribbean person, minding your business. So now that brings, of course, to the question is how is credit calculated?
Great. You know, 10% of your credit is based on the types of credit. You have two types of credit. You have revolving credit, you have installment credit.
Right.
Revolving credit will be your credit cards, bills that you can use and pay off. And then, of course, you want to keep that under 30% whenever you use it. Installment credit will be any debt that you have a fixed payment or a date to pay it off by. Example, a mortgage or a car note.
Right.
The next 10% is based on new credit. So you want to be mindful of how many times you apply for new credit within a 30-day billing cycle. But also establishing new lines of credit can also help you build your credit history.
Okay.
Because once you get approved, then your credit score is going to increase.
So I'm hearing two things. So one, be careful not to have too much inquiries
right,
in the same month.
Right.
But then the other thing is having new lines of credit can help you build your credit.
Of course. So you getting approved for a line of credit could help you build your credit history as well.
Got it.
And again, that's for people who want to build their credit history. If you already have established credit, then there's no need to build credit history, right?
Okay.
15% of your credit is based on the length of the credit history.
Okay.
How long have you had that account open? Whether it be a mortgage, a student loan, a credit card. The longer it is in good standing, meaning no late payments, payments on time, is better for you because again, it shows a history. Your credit report is basically you paying your bills on time, over time, for a long time. That's what they want to see.
It is commitment.
Yes.
And you know what I committed to? Soca. Listen, can we take a drink, Ashton, right now?
Sure,
because listen, I getting real thirsty and the vibes is hot right here on the Cross Caribbean Countdown. So we're gonna check out the next video, and when we come back, more vibes. Welcome back to our family. Of course, you know we are here talking about credit with the man Ashton Henry. And did you know he was a Grenadian? Yeah, he said that. Now, earlier you had said that you came to America on a soccer scholarship. Now he says soccer. Yeah? That means he's a foreigner, but it's really football, right? So, do you still play soccer?
Recreationally.
Recreationally. Yeah. I thought you were good on correct. Man, say no, it's football.
No, it's okay. It's accepted term here.
It's an accepted term in America. He's a real sellout. But one thing he doesn't sell out is, of course, financial services and financial literacy and educating people just like us about how to build and maintain your credit. So when you go to Carnival and you're having a good time, you're going to worry free. And when you come back, nobody can come in to repossess your house. So in the last segment, we were talking about ways in which to improve your credit. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Great. So 30% of your credit is also based on your amounts owed, and that's basically your credit limit versus your credit balance. Okay, so whatever limit you get access to, you only want to use 30% or lower.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, you have a $300 credit card. Whatever limit you have, by the way, you want to multiply that by 0.3, and that will give you actual spending limit. So $300 credit card, $90. $500 credit card, $150. $1,000 credit card, $300. There's a big misconception that if you utilize the full amount of a card and you pay it off, you will start getting increases. It doesn't work like that. You have to keep it on the 30%. You make your monthly payments, and over time, the credit card company will start sending you increases in the mail.
Right. So it's really about committing and committing in the right way.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 35% of your score is based on your payment history. So just think about it. Late payments and your credit card balances contribute to 65% of your credit score.
Wow.
So one late payment or having a credit card balance that's over 30%, that affects your credit score in a major way. So you want to make sure you have those things in check.
So more than 2/3 of your credit really depends on being committed, right? And of course paying on time.
Yes.
So the next third, that last 35%, what does that comprise of?
So that comprises of new credit, different types of credit, making sure you have a mix of credit, installment, revolving credit, and of course the length of your credit history.
Okay, so not just have a whole bunch of property, but you also want to have what else? A credit card, a car, a house, right?
Different types of credit history reporting on your credit report. You know, some people use their credit to build financial wealth with real estate. You know, and that's okay. Some people, but they do have access to credit cards because they might need to do projects on their house. They can use the credit card to pay for certain things. So it just depends. You can really leverage your credit to build wealth, because again, you get access to funds or services before you have to make the full payment.
No, you see, I like that, using credit to build wealth. And of course, this is a great way to segue into our financial literacy guru. I'm giving you a guru title now, is Mr. Ashton Henry, and he will definitely be talking to you a lot about how to utilize your credit to build wealth. Because that's what I want to do. My money can't just sit down there. I want my money to work for me. Okay?
Or you can have somebody else's money work for you too.
Well, I like that even better.
But you need that 800 credit score.
Right, but you know, listen, we on our way, okay? We don't play over a tempo, you know.
Right.
We making sure our credit good. And we making sure that you, our tempo family, your credit good too. Okay, so now listen. In the Caribbean, we just drink to everything. So I would definitely like to take a drink right now. Okay, it's Island Energy drink, you know. Of course, tempo thing there. Okay, and we're gonna drink to using other people's money to make you money.
Cheers to that.
We're gonna check out the next video on the Cross Caribbean Countdown, and when we come back, listen, I'm gonna blow all your mind, okay? It's all about credit. Welcome back to our family. Of course, you know, we are having a great time on the Cross Caribbean Countdown. Yes, we're having a great time talking about credit. You real drinking, not drink?
It tastes real good.
Really? He like the tempo drink, you know. No, just now he just actually tell me it tastes like it's from Grenada. Typical Grenadian thing to say. Everything from Grenada. No, it's from Tempo, the whole Caribbean, everybody, the region, all of we. So we're talking about, of course, credit, right? And let's talk about, of course, how do you restore bad credit? So I know we're talking about how to build credit. We're talking about new credit. But what about if you have old, dirty, stink credit?
Well, there's laws in place to protect consumers with their credit. So one of the laws that we leverage is the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Okay.
which was passed by Congress to stop the credit bureaus from intruding in people's personal lives.
Okay.
So credit bureaus, because the word bureau is attached to them, most people think that they're government agencies, and they're not. They're simply private companies who are in the business of collecting and selling credit information.
Okay.
So the first thing to restore in your credit history is disputing every negative item on your credit report. So whether it be a collection account, default payments, charge-offs, late payments.
Dispute it if it's true.
Right. So again, we're not disputing the fact that the item is true. We're just leveraging the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The credit bureaus never verify anything on someone's credit report.
Okay.
So just like, for instance, you get in a pull over by a cop, right?
Okay.
If that cop doesn't read your Miranda rights,
right,
you can sue.
Right. Miranda rights being you have the right to an attorney.
Right.
If you choose to have one, anything you can and say will be used against you.
Exactly. So great.
Like
as it relates to your credit, whatever is reported in the credit report, the credit bureaus have to verify that with you, the client.
Got it.
Okay, so since they don't do that, we actually leverage a Fair Credit Reporting Act. We send you the dispute letters, so you can actually dispute all the negative items. Now, what they have to do is do the investigation.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times, they might investigate items on your credit that the company is no longer in business, so they have nothing to verify.
Okay.
Or just the fact that they have so much files to deal with, they don't
Right.
ever get to investigate, and as a result, they have to take it off your credit report.
So wow, so Ashton Henry, I call him by his whole name, right? Ashton Henry Financial Services can actually help people send letters to agencies and bureaus that will investigate things on their credit that might have made their credit bad.
Yes.
And it will eventually improve their credit.
Correct. Of course, they have to make sure that they pay their bills on time.
Okay.
Keep their credit card balances under 30%.
Okay.
Right? But we're going to dispute the negatives to get them off their credit report. And that could be a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a tax lien, student loan, medical bills. It doesn't matter what the negative item is. They can legally be removed from your credit report.
They can. So let's say for a student loan, for example, right? A student loan can stay on your credit report for 100 years. You don't get a degree, you don't then move on, and it's still there.
Yeah.
How can you dispute?
So as far as student loans and the disputing of student loans, it has to be negative though, right? If it's positive, then we don't have no reason to take it off your credit report, because you removing that student loan is going to drop your credit score. And that's the next important thing. We don't remove every item on your credit report. We can't remove the good history.
Okay.
So if the student loan is in good standing, you keep it on there because you're making the payments.
Okay, beautiful. And then if you're not making
if you're not making the payments, if you have delinquent payments on there, then we can dispute it to get off your credit report. However, just because we remove that student loan or the tax lien off your credit report, that does not mean that you're not responsible for paying that debt.
For making the payments.
You can make the payments outside of it being reported to your credit report, but we can't get it off your credit report, which is what's stopping your credit score from increasing because of the late payment on there.
That is very interesting. Listen, people, there is hope still for us, okay? There's still hope for us. So we come America, we get the degree, okay? We got to pay the debt. We have the house, we got to pay the bill on time. We have the car, and we have to pay that car note on time. And then, only then can we jump on the plane and go to Carnival and jab.
And you know, a good thing that people can do as well, because a lot of people travel, especially during the Carnival season, they should put reminders on their calendar.
Okay.
For the bills that they have coming up.
Right.
So, 2-3 days ahead, I have to pay my spring bill. I have to pay my light bill. I have to pay my credit card. That way, they keep track of everything, so they can make those payments on time. And even though they're not there, they can set it up, automatic drafts on their bank account to make sure that their accounts are being paid. Because again, one late payment could hurt your credit 50 to 100 points.
Wow, that is actually an amazing tip, right? Of course, auto pay when you travel, right? So now talking to people, could you give us about maybe 3 good tips about how to just do amazing things with your credit?
One thing I noticed is a lot of island people don't leverage their credit history with their kids.
Okay.
Right? So you can actually add your kid as an authorized user on your card. They don't have to have access to the card itself.
Okay. Because I was like, listen, kids be running people broke,
right,
okay?
Right. So you can actually add them as an authorized user on your card. When that card comes in the mail, if it does come, you can cut it up. But what's going to transfer is your history. So your good history is going to be reported to their credit report. So by the time that kid graduates from college, they have a 700 credit score, a 750 credit score.
Great.
They can get access to the things that they need.
Absolutely. And they could leave your pocket alone,
right.
Okay? Bye-bye.
Next thing that you can actually do, you can actually get your rent in history. Now, that's your biggest bill in your house right now. Most people don't know that you can get your rent reported to your credit report just like a mortgage.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So that will actually help me build
That would help
my
you.
credit
We can
by
go,
getting my rent reported on my credit.
absolutely. We
Because
can
you're
go
paying
back.
your rent anyway, you know.
You're paying your rent, right? You're not getting any credit for that right now. We can actually go back as far as 2 years. Place down on your credit report. You can see increase anywhere from 50 to 120 points within 15 to 25 days.
Hello, and then that can get you ready for buying your house.
Absolutely.
And living the American dream.
Yes.
Okay, now I know I said 3, but guess what? We're only going to give you 2 because Mr. Ashton Henry is about to have his own show right here on Temple Networks. So you need to know everything about your credit. You need to know everything about financial literacy. You need financial services right here. Now we checking out the Cross Caribbean Countdown. Check out the next video, and when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. No, but trust me, more vibes. Cross Caribbean Countdown family, this has been, of course, a countdown like no other. We've been dancing, we've been singing, we've been drinking, okay, and we've been talking. And before we get into, of course, the final wrap up about credit with our guy here, of course, our financial guru right here at Temple, Mr. Ashton Henry, I want to talk about the hair. Yeah, the hair. Because you know, we taught as Caribbean people, when you come and you want to be corporate, you have to have a Caesar, you have to have a bald head. Some people can't even grow a dread. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I actually started growing my hair in college, playing sports and
playing soccer.
Yep. And I remember, funny enough, when I actually graduated from college, I moved here to Brooklyn, and they always would want me to have a clean cut, and I decided I was not going to cut my hair just to get a job. You know? I ended up moving to Miami, and I was actually hired because of my dreads.
Okay.
With a company that was in admissions.
Okay.
At Brown Mackie College, and I was the admissions rep there for 3 or 4 years. I became very successful. They paid for my master's degree because I was able to relate with students in that community.
Well, you know, now listen. Now that is very interesting. So it is like a myth being dispelled, right? You need to have short hair to get a job. Myth busted. Okay. So now talk to us a little bit about maybe some of the myths of credit.
Well, one of the most common myths about credit, most people think that credit bureaus are government agencies. Again, because that word bureau is attached to their name, they think they're not. They're simply private companies. They're not even American-based companies. They're based in Sweden, and you know, again, a company overseas is having control over all your financial moves, right? And again, it's not just here in the U.S. In Canada, the 3 major bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Right. A next major myth is paying off. The fact that you pay a bill, a past bill that was late, means that it's going to get removed off your credit report. And that's a big myth. And especially during tax season, most people get a tax return and they go pay their bills that's already 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late. And what that does, it ruins their credit even more, because now it's being reported as a new late payment on their credit report. When all they have to do is dispute it to get it off their credit report, or to be updated to reflect paid as agreed. And of course, they can dispute it using your financial services. Of course. Now tell me some of the other things that you offer in your company. And one of the other major myths as well is whenever there's a negative item on your credit report, you have to stay on it for 7 to 10 years. And that's not accurate. You can dispute any negative item. It doesn't have to wait 7 years. You don't have to wait 7 years to dispute it. So not just do we only offer credit, we don't just offer credit repair services, credit restoration, I would say. We also get access to a credit attorney if you have any legal issues. You have someone to represent you in court, no additional costs. You get identity protection. Needed, necessary. Once your credit score increases, you know you're inclined to get your identity stolen. Right. You also get access to a will, trust, power of attorney. Most people don't have a will and a trust, but they have kids, they have house, they have cars. And then when they're dead, they have to fight over the land. Exactly. Something wants to happen. You know, their families in financial trauma, they have to go to probate court. So we can actually help people alleviate some of those stress and to make sure that they have their financial house in order. They also get credit monitoring. So in the event that, you know, your credit score increases or someone tried to steal your identity, because it happens, you will get alerts, and you can also even dispute things directly through our monitoring services. We also give scholarship money towards high school seniors and college freshmen. To play soccer? Whatever they want to do, you know, go to school. Again, your student loans is typically the highest bill apart from your rent or your mortgage. So just imagine your kids having access to funds to help them offset some of that cost with their student loans. We're actually going to be giving away $350,000 in a couple weeks here to high school seniors and college freshmen, and your kids can benefit from that program. And all they have to do is write a financial essay, and we choose the top recipient for the funds.
That is amazing. Listen, we're of course going to put that right here on Tempo, all right, so that you can get that access to $350,000 actually, right? USD. I say no island money, that's American money. Now listen, your list can go on and on and on about your financial services. How can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can find my website, AshtonHenryFinancial.com. Also on social media,
Yes.
Ashton Henry on Facebook, Instagram, Ashton M. Henry. That's the ways they can get in contact.
Right, and of course, you can check out www.temponetworks.com, and we could sit on here and talk about credit whole day. But Ashton, you really like that drink,
I really do.
Man, listen, I think you're about to drink mine too. You understand? Let me hold it. Caribbean people, we are always, of course, keeping you at the cusp of new things. We want to keep you healthy, not just physically. We want to keep you healthy financially.
Yep.
And he's going to be a mainstay on this station, of course, along with...
One of the things that just came to mind, I didn't mean to cut you. One of the things that just came to mind is, so many people from the Caribbean
Yes.
are realtors, financial, in the
Yes.
financial field, whether it be taxes, insurance. 75% of their clients have bad credit. So we can
Right.
actually just imagine how much money they're losing because that client has a poor credit score. We can actually help them increase that client's credit score so they can go to the closing more often. The tax preparer that's doing taxes, he has literally
That's very
3 months to generate as much income as possible.
Right.
But he already has a book of business. We can help those same clients increase their credit score.
Right.
Right. And he can actually help them so that again they can do the things that they want to do. Now you're not just a tax preparer, you're more of a financial literacy person.
Absolutely.
Right. That person does insurance as well.
Yes.
Right. That person's insurance premium is also determined by their credit score.
Yes.
So again,
full service.
helping your clients.
Full service.
Helping your clients, you're literally putting people in a new financial bracket because
Right.
guess what? Your credit score increase, now all your interest rates go down because you have a higher credit score. So now more of your hard-earned dollars is staying in your household and not going in interest payments on everything that you get access to.
It is definitely all about building wealth, and Tempo is going to bring you, of course, all that vibe. And of course, if you need some energy to deal with your taxes, Island Energy drink, okay? Because trust me, we gonna need it. We get a whole bunch of information, but it's good to be informed, okay? So we gotta go back to the cross grip and countdown, but the vibes is not going to stop. All right, we're gonna take it all the way to number 1, and of course, our number 1 financial advisor, Ashton Henry, you can see right here on the Big Bad Station, Tempo Networks. All right, so I'm your girl JLova. Of course, you can find us, on Tempo. You can find us on Twitter. You could find us on Instagram. You could find us on Facebook. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel. And you can see us on Optimum all through the Caribbean. And of course, on Verizon Files. Happy to make your acquaintance. I'm so happy to bust the story right here on Tempo. Get your financial health in order, okay? Now, listen, I go into Carnival, but my bill will be paid, auto paid. Thanks for the talk.
Thank you for having me.
I go chop me money for you, money for you. I go spend me money for you, money for you. Hey, but you can't tell me what me can do, what me can do. Can you settle down? Listen what me telling you. You say you want